I'm going to pour in as much as I can to you to help this progressive movement because, damn it, it is a movement. And Bernie damn Sanders is at the helm, ladies and gentlemen. I wish I had an applause clap. I don't, an applause track. I don't, but I want everybody to just clap your hands and give a round of applause to Bernie M. effing Sanders. I called it last night. I told you. I've been telling you. Bernie Sanders has done something that the Democratic Party cannot control. Bernie Sanders is getting ready to do something that could benefit Democrats if they do the right thing. It could help Hillary Clinton if she does the right thing. But what it's going to do most of all, it's going to help progressives stay organized and mobilized and galvanized over the next 2 to 4 to 6, 8 years. And that's what's most important. What am I talking about? Hopefully you know what I'm talking about already. If you received the email from the Bernie Sanders campaign this afternoon, asking everyone to show up tomorrow night for a speech that he's giving. And in that email, Jeff Weaver outlined the fact exactly what I said last night. You know, don't call me a prophet, but I called this. He said that this movement has to go beyond November. This movement has to make sure that Donald Trump doesn't get elected and make sure that we're organized for the future. And that's the focus that Bernie Sanders is taking now with all of the momentum and power and organization and funds. You know, with great power comes great responsibility. And it would be foolish at this point for Bernie Sanders to fold everything that he's built based on the reasons that he's built it, to fold that into the Hillary Clinton machine and for him to just walk away as if that's the end of the story. Instead, Bernie Sanders looks as though he's going to run a parallel track, a parallel movement. And that movement, the goal of that movement is to bring progressivism to the United States of America. And it's about time. I mean, think about it. When's the last time we actually had some serious progressivism in America? Thank you. I'm glad. Thank you, President Obama. It was a step in the right direction. Clearly, the election of President Obama was a small step in the right direction, right? But it did not bring the progressive movement that we're looking for and, quite frankly, we need. Electing Hillary Clinton, obviously, is not going to be what we need. But the last thing we need is for progressives to fold up shop, shut down, grab their marbles, go home and do nothing. What we need is a revolution that's going to be from the bottom up and gives us time. That's the biggest disadvantage that Bernie Sanders had. He did not have enough time on the national stage to earn and to convince people that what he's saying is true. The biggest advantage that Hillary Clinton had over Bernie Sanders was already built into the system at a minimum of 8 years ago. But the real advantage of Hillary Clinton is that she's been running for president for almost 25 years. That is hard to undo in one campaign cycle, period. And I have a lot of African-American friends. I have some black friends. Yeah. I have some black friends who are supporting Hillary Clinton. They're older, right? But I still consider them friends. They're older, and they're supporting Hillary Clinton. And I saw them at the wedding when I was in Florida, and they wanted to talk politics because they know what I do. And I'm like, nope, I'm not talking politics with you because I'm not going to fall. I'm not having a falling out over nobody at this point. And no. But they said enough for me to put it in context. They were like, Hillary had been there. Hillary had built the relationships. Hillary had supported the community. Hillary sent money. Hillary did everything that a person needs to do to build the necessary relationships so that somebody coming along to run against her would not even stand a chance to be considered. And dismiss that type of politics at your peril. we cannot neglect that style of politics. And what that style of politics requires is time. And if all of our roads led to and ended at the 2016 election, we would not have time. We didn't have time, and we would waste time going forward. So in other words, this is a good thing. This is a great thing for us to go and focus our attention beyond 2016 and see what this progressive movement that is now a national movement of millions of people can do from the ground up. Also, so that's one, Bernie Sanders has bought us time. Two, Bernie Sanders is going to maintain millions of voices that believe in his message. And I believe the majority of us are concerned enough about the message that we're not going to walk away at the end of this election cycle, because the biggest enemy to progressivism right now is apathy. Because if we shut down shop and fold up our tents and go home after this election, and we do not get engaged on the precinct level, then we will be in the same exact position in 2012, and in 2017, 2018, as we are right now. So he's bought us time to build the relationships that are necessary. He has organized. He has an organization that has the ability to keep us active over the next 2, 4, 6, 8 years. And he has the organization that is strong enough to actually move the dial on issues. So Bernie Sanders will remain a national leader, just not a national leader of the Democratic Party. And you know what? Round of applause. I need my applause track. I think this is the best possible solution, the best possible outcome. And I also know that it's in his best interest not to run against Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump unless there is a fourth party, a strong enough fourth party to be on stage. And I don't know if that's shaping up. I don't know if Gary Johnson and the team are going to get a high enough percentage rate. A matter of fact, I don't know if the system is going to even allow them in. Are they even polling in enough polls to actually include, are the polling agencies including Gary Johnson enough for him to hit the threshold? So I don't think there's going to be a four-way race. If there's not going to be a four-way race, then there does not need to be a three-way race. All right. So I'm excited. I'm excited about the movement transforming right before our eyes and moving into the next stage. Here's the last thing. Progressives have made it clear that they would eat Bernie Sanders for lunch if he ran with or supported Hillary Clinton outright. Right? Progressives are clear about that. I think Bernie Sanders knows that. And some people are saying that, well, even if Bernie Sanders walked away, the movement would continue. Yeah, it would. However, with Bernie Sanders still in play and Bernie Sanders having millions of email addresses in 2016 equals millions of fundraising opportunities. And with millions of fundraising opportunities means that he has the ability to actually move the dial on issues, to help put candidates in office, to help build the relationships that are necessary. So with Bernie Sanders still in play for the next 2 to 4 to 6 years, however long we've got the old guy, you know, with him still in play, 10 years, 20 years, I don't know, hell, he's young and athletic. With him in play, there's no need for us to reorganize this. There's no need for us to wait and find and build a new infrastructure. There's no need for us to try to find leadership and then have an agreed upon leadership. All we have to do is continue to march forward. So there are tremendous advantages to keeping Bernie Sanders at the helm of this progressive movement. He is not the savior. He is not the hero. He is not Jesus. He's not Martin Luther King. He's none of the above. He's Bernie Sanders. He's a stubborn old man, and he has nothing to lose, and he was the perfect person to pull this off. And so now what we get to do, because I'm petty, I am going to tell you, we get to say, kiss our asses. We can vote with you or we cannot vote with you. We've got our own movement still here. People want to say, well, where are you going to go? Where are we going to go? Right here in this progressive movement that's not going anywhere. The labor movements can benefit from this. Grassroots movements across the country can benefit from this. Locally grounded movements can benefit from this. Everyone who has a progressive agenda of some type can benefit from this, but it also means that Bernie Sanders and this progressive movement can now look across the country and get involved in movements like Chicago and get involved in movements that have been making changes, but we just did not have enough time to get thoroughly engaged and help out on a national level. Now we have the time. Now we have the time to build the relationships, kick ass, take names, and take this country back for progressivism. I cannot stress to you enough how much of a good thing this is, especially if progressives don't lose their minds, don't lose their wits. They keep their heads about, let's keep our heads about us and realize that this is the strongest position that Bernie Sanders could get out of this election, save being the president itself. And actually, I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is stronger than him actually winning the presidency. If you think about what he can't do without a progressive Congress, then you realize how tied his hands would be even if he won. Now you think about what he can do to help elect a progressive Congress, to help elect local and state level progressives, to help galvanize and re-energize and reinvigorate the progressive movements, the labor movements. Think about all he can do from the grassroots level up, from the precinct level up, so that when the next progressive candidate runs and wins, we would have the infrastructure already in place and the voices and the power already in place.